Hello there. Welcome to Critical Thinking with Andre. And today's topic is about, are African Americans, now hear me again, are African Americans, are they taking the space industry serious? Especially the space commercial industry serious enough to put a lot of effort into far as looking at it as a vital industry that it will be growing in the future. I think that HBCUs here in the United States have not been doing enough far as getting our people prepared for the space industry. Now, I am not going to say that I know that what each and every HBCU are teaching their students. However, I haven't heard a lot of talk about HBCUs having these kind of programs where they teach their students how to build spaceships, how to work in space as biologists, doctors, all the space engineering, working on satellites. I have not heard any of these type of programs being developed at any of these HBCUs. And that's the reason why I think that African Americans are not taking the space industry seriously. Matter of fact, I don't even hear a lot of African American politicians or business people talking about it. What they do talk about is AI, which I don't have any problem with that. However, AI is not going to be the growth engine of this planet. No, the growth engine or industry of this planet and beyond, and years to become, and years beyond that, is the space industry. Because in the space industry, you need biologists, so people can live in space, people who can do research on people who live in space, make sure the quality of life is okay, that their health is okay. That's why you need biologists, doctors. So we need to train people to work in space as doctors, biologists, all that. We need also, what? Engineers. Engineers in what? Satellites. Space engineers on how to fix, what? Spaceships. Engineers that know how to fix a lot of the equipment that works in space. We need those people. And also we need people to invent these new equipment. We also need people to build and own these new equipment and companies and that are going to be flourishing in space. I mean, because there are companies now talking about they're going to do mining on asteroids. Yes, we need to teach young students and young people how to, what? Probably do some mining on space. Because an individual who probably end up working in space, more than likely, would probably be getting a starting salary of $500,000. Yeah, $500,000. Because you got to remember, a person working in space is a hazardous area. And the person who got trained to work in that field, they're starting out base pay probably 150, 175,000, maybe more. So that is where millions of people, not just hundreds of thousands, millions, because the way these folks are talking about exploring space, building space resorts, space stations, and all these other stuff, we need to be in the game. And these HBUs, as far as I'm concerned, are not doing enough. And that's really not their fault. It's really the leaders in the African American community, such as probably some of the educators. I'm not going to blame it all on the educators, and also the parents. I'm not going to blame it all on the parents. And some of the community leaders, like politicians or activists or futurists. People who believe what's going to be taking place in the future, who happen to be African Americans. But don't think that African Americans do not have ideas on how to build this society into the future. No, please do not think that is the problem. Please do not think that that is the problem. African Americans are building things here on this planet. So you could imagine what they can do as far as building other things off planet and getting the credit for what they do and owning what they do and all those other stuff. Yes, we need to get out there in the forefront of this, and we're not taking it seriously. We need to take this new industry seriously. And if you like what I'm saying about the African Americans have not taken the space industry serious enough, where we are creating curriculums in our education system at the HBCUs, you know, where we can create these new jobs for the future. If we're not advocating and trying to do that, we are still trying to play catch up. In order to, and we are already behind the 8 ball, don't get me wrong. The space commercial industry has already taken off. And it's taken off and it's moving ahead. We're playing catch up. Seriously, we are. We're playing catch up. That's the reason why we're not taking it seriously. We need to catch up quickly as possible. And we also need, as a nation, we need to catch up. I would say the federal government need to fund space curriculum here at the junior high level and the high school level. And here in the state governor, the state of Maryland, which I live in, this is a new curriculum, you need to start it. A space program for the junior high and high school. Teach people how to work in space, how to live in space, all this stuff that's related to this new industry. How to build spaceships, all this. We need to take this very seriously. And what I'm saying here, that we're not. I'm saying that we're not taking it serious enough. The bottom line, we're not. So, if you think that the African American community is not taking the commercial space industry seriously, then hit the light. If you don't, if you think they're taking it seriously, then we're not in agreement. Obama started this commercial space program when he signed the law when he was in office. We as African Americans should take advantage of this. Why we can. Why the industry is in its beginnings. Really is in its beginnings, but it has taken off. It has taken off. And if you believe that a lot of African Americans are not advocating and trying to push our young folks in the direction of the commercial space industry, then you must hit the light. If you think that they're not doing enough, hit the light. If you think African Americans are not advocating about moving our young folks into the space industry or the commercial industry, hit the light. That's the bottom line. Because there's so many jobs, man. I'm telling you, biology, satellite engineer, space, developing space rockets, developing new space type of fuel. I mean, there's so much that can be done, and I mean, building. You could be building new houses on some type of planet. You could be building some kind of spaceships. We need to get involved immediately. Immediately, we behind. The African American community is behind in the space commercial industry, and we need to get involved. That's the bottom line. And this is critical thinking, strategically critical thinking. Actually, the whole American society is behind on the industry in itself, because that is where we're going. Talking about flying cars, electric cars, cars that talk, robotic vehicles. All this stuff is geared for space. Because in order to work in space, you may need a robot vehicle to protect you, to make sure that everything's okay. You practicing here on this level and then utilize it up there on that level. That's what that's all about. Have some vision. Have some vision. We're moving into a new world here, folks. It's all about the space industry. AI, quantum computer. It's all about that. We are trying to, now that's who, the people that think like I do. That's the people that have a vision like I do. We want to move ahead into the future. We want to move ahead in the future. And we believe that, and some of us believe that the African American community is not preparing itself, not being served to prepare itself, and being basically tricked and not preparing itself. But today, we're going to take on this topic. And I am. So if you like this, hit the like. And folks, thank you for hitting and listening to what I had to say. Have a good day.